So I know that in Buffy season 9 we're obviously gonna have to deal with Giles tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, Giles.
Wait, that was all George's fault.
Wait, what? I wasn't listening.
Yeah.
It was straight up Giles.
Yeah, just straight up.
This panel is brought to you by TFAW.com. Visit TFAW.com today and use the code WONDER at checkout to save $5 on your next purchase of $20 or more. TFAW.com.
We want to thank all you guys for being here today. My name is Jeremy Atkins. I head up public relations for Dark Horse. Next to me is Sierra Hahn, one of our editors here at Dark Horse. And coming up, approaching the stage to accept this award is Scott Alley, another editor at Dark Horse. So you guys have like this image, right? We're in San Francisco. She's on the Golden Gate Bridge. How rad is that? So here's the thing. We decided that, in honor of the fact that we have this great image, that WonderCon would be our venue to tell you guys about everything that's going to be coming in the Whedonverse this fall. So, we've got lots of announcements to make. The first announcement actually falls a little bit outside the Whedonverse, and I'm going to bring Scott to kind of talk about that now, but anybody, you guys read BPRD? Anyone there? Yes. Like that.
Hey everybody, so at Emerald City Con about a month ago, we announced that Guy Davis would be leaving BPRD after 8 years on the title. He's going off to pursue some other stuff, including more marquee and the video game project that I think was recently announced with Guillermo del Toro. We've got a new artist on BPRD that Mike Mignola met. If you're a young artist who goes to conventions hoping that something's going to click for you, this is a great story. Tyler Crook, actually Tyler, come on up and you tell me. Tyler Crook is a new artist on BPRD. His first issue comes out in about 3 months, and it's called BPRD Hell on Earth Monsters.
The story of how it sort of happened was I went to the Long Beach Comic Con and I met Mike Mignola and was showing him my portfolio and he started flipping through it and he kept saying wow. And then he friended me on Facebook and then this happened. He said,
yeah, and we were thinking, well, we'll give Tyler like a little 2-issue thing somewhere, and then we made the arrangement with Guy for him to leave the title, and we thought, let's do this. Tyler's the right guy for this, so he'll be starting as a regular artist this summer.
And he may be the only person to get an answer back from Mike Mignola on Facebook.
And at the end of the panel, well, after we do a bunch of introductions, we're going to ask you guys to ask questions. Because it's a very big room, it'd be great if you could come up to that mic. So after you've introduced everybody, think of questions you want to ask us, and then come up to the microphone. Okay, so one of the big things that we're doing with Joss right now, we're finally launching Dollhouse comics. A Dollhouse one-shot came out yesterday, or 2 days ago, I think. And another person that we recruited from another company that I'm really, really proud of. A few years ago, I stole Sierra Hahn away from Vertigo and brought her in as an assistant editor. And she's been working with me on the Whedon titles ever since. And we recently promoted her to full editor, and she's the editor on Dollhouse. So I want to introduce Sierra to talk about Dollhouse.
You can hear me, right? We had a one-shot Dollhouse that came out on Wednesday, and then we're going to do a 5-issue miniseries that will launch in July. And it sort of expands what you found in the one-shot. So hopefully all of you are able to pick that up and check it out before the series starts. It's written by Jed Whedon and Marissa, I'm going to say her name wrong. Yeah, thank you. And they wrote the one-shot that you guys all hopefully read. And it's based off of the episodes Epitaphs that take place in the distant future in the Dollhouse world. And Jed and Mo wrote that first episode, and there was a second part episode that they wrote with a writer who's actually working on Vampire Diaries named Andrew Chambliss. So Andrew is joining Jed and Mo to work on the miniseries. And so we're really excited to have Andrew on board. He's fantastic. He's doing great work for Vampire Diaries, so we're excited to have him expand expanding the Dollhouse world as well, and bringing him into comics. He's a big comics fan. So this is sort of his first foray into the comics world as a professional writer, and we're really excited.
And we've got different cover artists. Every issue of Dollhouse has a cover by Phil Noto. The image on your left up there of, I keep wanting to call him Wash, but Alpha, sorry. Alpha standing over this kid Trevor, who's one of the main characters in the comic series. That cover's by Phil Noto. Every issue will have 2 covers, and the second cover is done by a different artist each time. The cover on your right is by Fiona Staples.
So this next cover is a variant cover, another variant cover for Dollhouse. So it's illustrated by Rebecca Isaacs, a wonderful, talented artist that we're excited to be working with.
And one of the announcements for the show here, so Rebecca did this cover for Dollhouse. Rebecca also will be the artist on the New Angel series that we're doing. Yeah, and sort of the big news is that the book's not called Angel. The book's not called Angel because the book is called Angel and Faith. After the traumatic end of season 8, Angel is a wreck. And Faith goes with him to England, which you saw as you saw Buffy number 40. So they're double billing for the series. So Angel and Faith launches in at the end of August, drawn by Rebecca and written by Christos Gage, who I want to bring up here now. So this is your creative team for Angel and Faith. And the cover artist for this series, every issue will have 2 covers. One will be by Steve Moritz, this fantastic painter, who we worked with a little bit in the past, and he did the cover for Serenity, A Shepherd's Tale. How many people read Shepherd's Tale? Great book, written by Zach Eden and Joss, and drawn by Chris Samney. Steve did the cover for that. We loved it so much, we wanted to make him part of season 9, so he's the regular cover artist on Angel and Faith. And so the other part of the announcement for this show is a creative team on Buffy season 9. So now I want to bring up the artist on Buffy season 9. He was also the artist on Buffy season 8. George's Gently is back to Buffy season 9. So this is a variant cover that George did for issue 1 of Buffy. He also did a variant cover for issue 1 of Angel. Oh, and yeah, you can see under the title up there, the book will be written by Joss and Andrew Chambliss. Andrew, we just had such a good time working with him on Dollhouse, and Jed and Marissa were saying such good things about him that they called up Joss and said he's knocking it out of the park. And so Joss called Andrew and said, hey, do you want to write Buffy season 9? And Andrew said yes. And so right now, Andrew and Joss are hard at work on collaborating with the scripts. Joss is writing the first issue pretty much solo, and they're collaborating on other issues as we speak. So scripts are in hand, the writers and the artists are all working on the first issues of season 9 right now. So that takes care of announcements and introductions. We'd love for you guys to ask some questions of Tyler, and Rebecca, and Chris, and Georgians. We know that there's a lot of questions out there about what's going to happen, and we're probably not going to answer a lot of them, but please give it a shot. There's a mic right over there, and if you ask your question from the audience, no one else in the room will hear you, so follow her.
And I'd like to say I don't know why I get a whole lot of questions of people asking, does Joss really write, or is he really involved? Because they think maybe it's just a name. And as everybody here I'm sure will tell you, the guy is very much involved. He was really nice, actually, to show you how much involved he is. I got up early to talk to him a couple of days ago because he was driving on set, because I had some questions about the script. So he was very interesting. No, I know I'm still doing this, but this Buffy thing is still my love. And if you need something, just let me know and I'll try and get back to you. So he is definitely involved. For anybody who thinks that maybe it's just the name being a figurehead.
Yeah, that's true. That's also true for the Angel and Faith book incident. Cool.
Okay, is there a question there?
I've been a big Buffy fan since it came out, and the comics are amazing. It actually introduced me to Dark Horse. I want to thank you all for that. But is there any room for Spike in season 9?
Yeah, yeah, Spike will be a part of season 9. We actually leaked a panel the other day. It was one of the first inked panels, the first completed image, and it featured Spike and his crazy bug crew. So we're going to pick up with him where we left off. We saw him sailing off into the sunset on that spaceship piloted by bugs, and we're going to pick back up with him. But he's not going to be stuck in a bug ship. He's going to be settling down and interacting with the main cast.
Do we know when it's coming out? I'm still curious.
No, we don't know that.
Cool. Never mind.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, how's it going? I had a question for the Angel and Faith creative team. I don't know that much about you guys. If you could call the background from you guys.
I started out doing a lot of work for Devil's Due about 5 years ago, and then I got my first work with Marvel doing filming for Miss Marvel. And but the thing I'm best known for would be with DB8 Gods and Monsters with Brian Wood. Bruce finished last year. Yeah, I'm still very new, so that's about it.
Yeah, but I mean, she's very new but very awesome. I was there at the, can I say we got? I was there at the Buffy Writers Summit at Josh's house to show how involved he is in this, as George was saying. And when he first got a look at Rebecca's pages, and he was really, really blown away by it. So,
Very cool.
yeah.
I also have a question. Where is Angel and gang? Illyria, Connor, Gunn, everyone else?
They're all still around. The Angel and Faith book will focus a lot on Angel and Faith to start out with.
But will they like separate then? Possibly?
I'm sorry?
The Faith and Angel, would they like separate after the book is done, get their own titles and then?
Well, it'll be Angel and Faith for how many issues?
Yeah, we're going to do Buffy and Angel. Well, Buffy will launch in September, Angel and Faith will launch in August, and it's the beginning of 20. Each one will be a 25-issue series. So for 25 issues, this is what we're going to see. This is basically season 9. At a later date, after season 9, maybe they'll separate depending on where they're at.
Right.
Along the way, to your question, Joss has started talking about his specific plans for Illyria.
Yeah, she's got her own book. She's phenomenal.
Yeah. We feel like she's a character with a lot of potential. Joss, again, has some specific ideas of what he wants to do with her. And how Connor features into what happens in season 9, how all the surviving characters feature into it will be, will be dealt with in the different titles. And either they'll be dealt with in Angel and Faith or Buffy or get some spin-off.
Yeah, and then just one more thing. After the fall and after the fall, what the hell is canon? Now you're going to be like, what can we say? Okay, so this happened that correlates with this in season 9.
The stuff that IDW did,
1 through 17.
in the series that are ending now, the Angel and Spike series that are ending now, they're kind of being tailored to dovetail into season 8. So season 9, the reason that we refer generally to all of what we're launching this fall as season 9 is because all of it picks up after season 8. The Angel and Faith title picks up where we left off in season 8, number 40. The IDW stuff basically leads into what happened in season 8.
So we're going to a bit like Twilight?
What's that?
It'll kind of show how Angel did the whole Twilight thing? Like,
a little bit, and how Spike got into the bug ship. Maybe shown at the end of the Spike series that IDW's doing. But yeah, all the details of continuity, we don't have time to address or to really nitpick. But yeah, basically, the IDW stuff all precedes season 8, and now we're a whole couple of years later with the characters where they're at.
I got you. All right, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Did you need me to tell you what all I've done?
Yes.
My name is Chris Gage. I have written for, my wife, Ruth, and I have written for television. We wrote for the Law & Order Special Victims Unit. We wrote for Numbers. We've written some movies that I would prefer you not seek out. And Marvel. I'm writing a couple issues of Spider-Man. I'm writing Arc of Astonishing X-Men. I wrote the Captain America video game coming out this summer. I've got a lot of work out there. Until recently, I wrote co-wrote G.I. Joe Cobra for IDW. I've written a bunch of different stuff. In case someone probably asked about I am Marvel exclusive, but Scott and I started talking about this before I signed the Marvel exclusive contract, and Marvel very kindly had no problem at all with me doing this. So
And you're a big Angel fan.
Sorry?
You're a big Angel fan.
I am a big Angel fan. Yeah, I love Angel.
What's up, everyone?
Hello.
A few years or a while ago, Joss Whedon put out this book called Frame, where he introduced the new Slayer. Now, in season 8, we saw the return of Frey. It was kind of referenced that the events that led to the conclusion of season 8 would lead to the world that we see Frey in. In season 9, we would possibly see Frey come back and more of an explanation of like what happens when Buffy's world goes into her world.
Well, people asked early on if season 8 was going to set up the world that we see in Frey's comic, and I think clearly the answer is yes. We saw the end of magic, we saw a big battle where Buffy was side by side, with her closest companions, which is specifically, I think, referenced in Frey. So yeah, season 8 does set up the world that we'll eventually see in Frey. I don't anticipate a crossover the way we did in season 8, other than no. We definitely want to return to Frey at some point. Joss has always said he wants to write more Frey, or he wants to find a way to do more stories with Frey. But yeah, the events of season 8 set up the world that Frey lives in. And we'll see what season 9 does.
Okay, always remember, you can't just be afraid of the book, so.
No, but we want Joss to write it, and he's really busy.
So I know that in Buffy season 9, we're obviously gonna have to deal with some giants tonight.
Yeah.
Giants.
Wait, I'm sorry.
That was all George's fault.
Wait, what? I wasn't listening.
Yeah.
It was bringing up Giles.
Yeah, just say that was your idea.
That was true.
It was like Darth Vader's thing. Joss didn't want to do it. He grew it.
Good, we had this.
I like to say, I protested it as a fan. When I read the script, and Scott was telling me we kept that script from you for as long as we could, because we knew you'd actually bitch and moan about it. But as a fan, I protested. I was like, whatever we need to do, let's have some sort of a back door or something. I don't care if that whole colloquialism of, oh, when somebody dies, they come back. I just wanted Joss not to die, or Giles not to die. And he was like, no, he's just, that's how he did it. So that was it. It was a very short argument.
Yeah, Scott, I don't think you would ever convince me that killing off a beloved character is not Joss's idea. That's not feasible. But the question is, it's going to have to be dealt with Buffy and sort of that main cast. Are we also going to get to see Angel and Faith dealing with it?
Yeah, very, very much so. I would even venture to say that, well, first of all, Giles is on page 1 of Angel and Faith. It's a flashback, I'm going to tell you right now. But I would say he is, if anything, the third most important character in the book. You think that's fair to say?
Yeah, I mean,
it is early.
Everything.
Yeah.
For both. Trying to think of who that death affected most. You can spend a lot of time talking about that, and we have spent a lot of time talking about who that death affected most. Was it worse for Faith than it was for Buffy? So part of the beauty of having the two characters, and it was Joss's idea, much to my surprise, when he said, oh yeah, and the Angel book's going to be called Angel and Faith. I was like, oh, okay. Because those two are in such a terrible place after what happened that...
And they're living in Giles' house.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw that at the end of issue 40.
Yeah, they're still living there when Angel and Faith takes off. So, they'll very much be dealing with that. And the gang back in San Francisco, which is where most of the main cast of Buffy is going to be located, they'll all be reeling from those events too.
Awesome, thank you guys.
So obviously the end of the season 8 had a huge impact on Willow, and then also the Frey, where we flash forward to the future, we see, this future Willow, is she gonna have any of, there was that one shot that was kind of Willow-centric, or there gonna be any, is she gonna be a major player in the Buffy series? Is she gonna get any of her own stuff going on?
She's going to be going through a lot. She's yeah, I don't know. Again, it's hard to say who's affected most by what happened. Willow was deeply affected. Really
She's a history of kind of going off the rails from the brief, so
Right. Well, fortunately, no magic, so she can't do anything about it. But she's a mess, and she's going to have a really long path to deal with what went on. But she will be in the she's in the first issues of Buffy.
but no plans for Willow's own maybe mini-series or anything like that?
We are going to do some mini-series across the course of season 9, and Willow's probably like the prime candidate for getting something.
Cool, thanks.
Okay, before I ask my question, because I've been a little out of the loop with the whole Angel, Buffy, and it was like, I'm sad that you killed him.
Can't hear you.
I'm sad that you killed Giles. I
Sorry.
didn't know that.
Did you just find out?
Yeah, I did just find
You
out.
just find out.
I've been a little out of the loop recently. And I just am not sad. And now my question. I was walking around in the dealership and I saw the big Spike with the Las Vegas sign in the back of it. It's Spike, was it the ID?
Is that IDW thing?
Yeah. And then the big Las Vegas thing. Where did you get that idea?
We didn't. That was IDW. With Spike, I believe, left LA to get away from Angel, to stop being an Angel shadow. He went to Vegas to try to stake out his own territory, and I think it didn't work out. And then he winds up on a bug ship.
Okay, I'm also confused that both Dark Horse and IDW are both doing stuff at the same time with the Angel Buffy universe thing.
Yes, that sucks, and we can totally help you with that. We got the Angel license back, we got Spike back, so everything's back at Dark Horse. IDW is wrapping up all their stuff in the next couple of months, and then in August and September, what we're launching will be all of Joss's creations, all under one roof. Thanks. Anybody else have any questions?
Hi. First and foremost, I'd like to thank Dark Horse again for the contest package, New Year's resolution contest. Very generous. Thank you again. Question for Tyler, as you seem to be a little lonely out there.
Thank you so much.
We warned him that question.
I can answer any question about Buffy.
How much artistic freedom were you given in, interpreting these characters that Mike and Guy have, put their stamp on over the last few years?
A lot, I guess. The world's so well established that it's kind of hard to just go off and do your own thing. So I'm trying to make sure that the feeling of everything, trying to maintain that feeling of BPRD. Mike has been really encouraging for me to just sort of do my own style and sort of bring my own take to some of the characters. But there's only so far you can go before they start turning into other characters. So there's freedom within the world, if that makes sense.
Sure, absolutely. Looking forward to it.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
I remember there was a little bit of Mike, the spikes on Ian's head is one thing that I think, that's one thing we always have to talk to artists
And the
about.
size of his nose.
Right, yeah. People always want to give him a really flat nose.
Yeah.
Hi, I was just wondering, your Buffy, the first half is in emotion comics, I've seen it on Blu-ray and everything. I was wondering if you were going to show any of the other things, like Serenity, any of our beloved characters in the issues forms for emotion comics.
Well, as a matter of fact, as you guys know, all of these properties are properties that we license under comics with. And the way that licensing has kind of evolved as new means of distribution for comics, whether it be digitally or whether it be motion comics or things like that, it's actually like a new license for us that we have to take out. But the thing is that we don't always have the choice. Sometimes we're able to take that license and do it ourselves. Other times, the people that we're working with decide they're going to do it themselves. So actually what happened with the Buffy motion comic was that Fox actually did that themselves. So as far as what their plans are for the rest of season 8, I couldn't tell you, unfortunately. Or also for, well, Serenity's not at Fox, but again, same kind of situation there. So it's kind of sticky. I mean, we'd love to be able to do all of that stuff ourselves, but we don't always have the option. So we're just happy we get to publish the comics.
Thank you so much.
No problem, thank you. Any other questions? Any other Dark Horse related questions? Doesn't have to be Buffy.
Yeah, if you want to talk about other stuff besides.
Anybody? I've never in my life left a panel early.
This guy's
Here we go.
Yeah, do you still have the rights to Criminal Macabre?
Yeah, actually, thank you. We're launching some new stuff with Criminal Macabre. Chris Mitten is the new artist on Count McDonald by Steve Niles. Steve's worked with a lot of different artists on the book over the years. And we've got a new team. Fiona Staples is doing covers, Chris Mitten is drawing it. And we've got, we're kicking it back off with a one-shot crossover with Goon, which is hilarious and bizarre. Niles wrote it with Eric Powell, a really fun and weird comic that comes out in June, I think? June. And then 2 months later, we'll have another one-shot, like a double-sized Criminal Macabre one-shot that really changes the status quo for Count McDonald. And then we're going to follow that up with a series of stories in Dark Horse Presents. Cal originally appeared in Dark Horse Presents, first time with New Comics in like 1999. And Dark Horse Presents is relaunching this year, relaunching in April. Yeah, Dark Horse Presents is the anthology comic that started Dark Horse. In 1986, 25 years ago this year, Mike Richardson and Randy Stradley started Dark Horse Comics out of the back of a comic book shop in Portland, Oregon, and published this little black and white comic that became a huge sensation and ran for like 150 issues before in the final issue there was a Goon short story that destroyed Dark Horse Presents and ended the title and crashing halt. And now we're relaunching it as an 80-page giant starting in a couple of months. And Frank Miller's going to be in it, Arlen Ellison, Richard Corbin.
Actually starting in a couple weeks. The first issue goes on sale on April 20th. And there are already Frank Miller fans in the room. There will be a 8-page preview of the new Xerxes series, which immediately follows the events of 300. Or actually it's the prequel to 300.
So we're going to see all sorts of great stuff in THB, including a 3-part cast. Thanks for the caliber.
I'm sorry, which one of you said you worked on the Serenity, the Shepherd book?
We edited it, but nobody up here worked on it. That cover artist is the cover artist of the Angel series, but he's in New Jersey right now.
With all the other Wing books that are coming out, will there be any more from Serenity?
Not immediately, we're talking about it, but right now we're so focused on launching season 9. And Joss is also very busy with some side projects that he's working on that's keeping him away from focusing totally on the comics. Does everybody know that Joss is directing the Avengers? Kind of a big deal. Kind of a big deal. That should sell some Avengers comics too. But yeah,
Avengers Academy comics specific.
Avengers Academy, run out and buy it. So yeah, Joss is real busy with that. So we talk about doing more Serenity. But we don't do any of these books without his direct involvement. We don't do anything without him finding the time to do it. And right now, all the time we can get out of him is going into launching Angel of Faith and launching Buffy. So talk about more Serenity comics continues to get pushed off.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey guys, I'm a big fan of Dark Horse's reprint program.
Is that Andy?
That's me.
Hey.
Of the BPRD omnibus, the Hellboy storybooks, the Nexus archives. I want to know if there's anything else along those lines coming out from you guys, because you do a really great job with those really great books.
In terms of the older stuff and the new stuff?
Hey, I'm just big fan of all great collected edition things, like
the sweetheart.
They're really nice, and I just want to. Old stuff would be great too. Like it's not around anymore. Maybe what about old Dark Horse Presents that you really can't get anymore?
I don't know if we have an answer to that particular part.
Yeah, well, for that, there is actually some stuff in the works.
Yeah.
It's all like old properties that Mike is talking about how to repackage. We are doing Criminal Macabre omnibuses, putting all that stuff together in big fat paper packs. What is there? What is it right there?
How have you not seen this whole time? I will say we do have the second volume of the BPRD hardcovers coming a little later this year. We finally got another Hellboy Library edition coming. And then hardcover-wise,
Yeah, we did a big hardcover Buffy Tales, which collected a bunch of different Tales of Vampires and Tales of Slayers comics in one big hardcover. That was like a $30, 400-page hardcover, and we're looking at doing more packages like that for Buffy. Oh yeah, and we're bringing that Shepherd's Tale book that the gentleman with the Frack Me t-shirt, yeah, that he was waving around. We're bringing out all the existing Serenity comics into that format, so that if you want the Shepherd's Tale book and you don't have the other ones, you can get them in matching formats, because I know collectors like that books that look the same. So
All right, I was just wondering if there's any more news on Umbrella Academy, or what you guys are doing there.
did anybody see My Chemical Romance last night in Oakland? What was that? You all right? Okay. There's not right now. But we're talking all the time about getting more stuff going. We get emails from Gabrielle every once in a while saying, hey, look some more comics. He's busy enough, but he really wants more Umbrella comics. Gerard really wants more Umbrella comics. We want more Umbrella comics. The focus right now is trying to get Gerard to have enough time to do Killjoys. Killjoys was a comic that we announced like 3 years ago. And now you've got a record, but you've got no comic. So we're working on getting a comic out. Right now, the best case scenario is that we launch that next year. And I'd love to sneak in an Umbrella one-shot along the way, but yeah, nothing actively in the works at the moment.
Nice.
nice jacket.
What's the vintage on that jacket? When'd you get?
I got this at a thrift store.
At a thrift store? Oh man, for like $500, right?
I got $500. Yeah. Well, anyway, I'm with Geek Novelists, and I have two questions. One, the gentleman on the far right, what is your name?
Georges Chenti.
Oh, yes.
Do I win a prize?
It's not the first time he's
Yeah, you're with the Shepherd's Tale, right?
No, I'm doing the Buffy stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, the other question is, have you gotten a lot of response from people who've seen the Buffy comic and said, hey, I didn't know that it was a TV show?
Are you asking that of me?
Yeah, of the whole group. I mean, a lot
Like
of people
the other
say
way
that
around?
comics is increasing interest in the TV show.
We'd love for that question to work in reverse for once.
That's what's happened to Serenity, right? Because people, hey, I never heard these guys. They had a TV show called Firefly.
A lot of what I've heard that I'd love to hear is a lot of people coming to the comic book saying, I've never read a comic book. But when I found out that Buffy was continuing, I had to pick one up. So I've talked to a lot of people who we have introduced into this whole wacky world of what we do.
Yeah, let me ask, a show of hands, who here, the first comic you ever read was a Buffy comic? Okay, all right. We find with a lot of Buffy fans that Buffy or Angel or Serenity is the first time they come to comics, and then we hope that they find other cool stuff. And if you pick up Angel and you haven't read other comics, go find what's the name of your book with 12 gauge right now? Mages.
M-A-G-U-S. It's my creator-owned book.
Yeah, so all these guys have other work with publishers, and if you like what they do on these TV show-based comics, go find their other comics, Avengers Academy. And actually, yeah, the reason that I first approached Chris in that bathroom in Chicago was
I have a wide stance.
I read this graphic novel that he did called Area 10, a Vertigo crime graphic novel that was just amazing. Blew my mind, actually drawn by the guy who drew Shepherd's Tale. They did this great book together, and that was the one book that we read it, and we saw, yeah, this guy can do Angel. Yep.
It's Negan. How about any Buffy, Angel, Serenity comic action figures? That would be awesome.
Well, that kind of goes back to thing that Jeremy said about the motion comics is that like with all that stuff, it kind of belongs out to these other companies that do. There's still Buffy action figures coming out of there, right? And there's been a little bit of Serenity, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. We do comics. We're really good at doing comics.
We do have some pretty awesome Serenity ships, though, if you don't have them yet. They're like kind of small model versions.
I was gonna say, I noticed your Dr. Horrible shirt, and we've done some Dr. Horrible comics. We did 8-page stories that were free online through MySpace, and we had an anthology there. And then we just collected all those stories in September. So there's an evil like backstory, there's a Penny story, a Captain Hammer story, and obviously a Dr. Horrible story. But it's a really great little collection that is all these sort of earlier stories in our lives before the actual Dr. Horrible story takes place, the web movie, I guess you'd call it.
And all that stuff was written by Zachary, who's just become an amazing comics writer. He's so good, right? I know.
Hi guys. So forgive me if this is an ignorant question. I was walking by the booth in the showroom, and it looked like Liara from Mass Effect was on the panel. Are you guys doing work to produce something from Mass Effect?
Yeah. How many people play the Mass Effect game? We're doing a great Mass Effect comic. We did a 4-issue series that came out last fall, I think, right before Mass Effect 2 came out. Currently, we have a second mini-series of Mass Effect comics coming out right now, and we're really building Mass Effect up to be another Star Wars for us. Like, we really view that as an amazing property, like great story potential. And the editor for those books, Dave Marshall, he's here at the Dark Horse booth answering questions. But yeah, we're coming on strong with the Mass Effect comics. We think that video game comics can be as good as any other kind of comic, and Mass Effect feels to me like the proof.
Yeah, we actually just announced the 3rd Mass Effect series, which will be coming later this year, a couple weeks back at C2E2 as well.
And the Mass Effect comics are all written by Matt Walters, who was the lead writer on Mass Effect 2, and he wrote, I believe he wrote the first Mass Effect novel. And yeah, he's intimately involved with everything we do in comics. He works really closely with all of us.
Yeah, also, do any of you guys who do play Mass Effect, did any of you play Mass Effect 2 on PlayStation?
Yeah.
Yes. So the comic at the beginning that you sort of had to get through to actually start the game was also created by us. So we were pretty excited about that because that's kind of the first time that something like that's been done, sort of an interactive kind of comic game. So, any other questions? Anybody? Does this mean I get to have lunch?
Nobody's going to say anything about Xander and Dom being creepy or anything like that? No? All right.
We all already know it's creepy.
All right, you guys, thanks so much for coming, and have a really great show this weekend. Have a really good time, and please keep reading our books. And we hope to see you guys again. Thanks a lot.
Come out of the Dark Horse booth where my son is handing out a lot of free stuff.
And we actually do have 2 signings coming up for these guys in the next 2 days.
Yeah, in your program, there are signings listed, Buffy and Angel signings listed in the program. We couldn't say who was going to be in the signings because that was the whole point of this panel. So these guys will be appearing at the booth. Everybody on the row here will be appearing at the booth at some point over the weekend. So come breeze by, check out the Dark Horse schedule, and come by and get some stuff signed. We're giving away free comments and all sorts of stuff. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Brought to you by Tfal.com, the world's best online retailer of comics and collectibles. Whatever you're into, we've got just the thing for your collection.